Let's now look at the Ebsco database, which is awesome because it contains a lot of scholarly articles and academic articles. This is going to be more of what we're looking for in future papers, and we should be able to find what we need for this paper as well, because it also contains a lot of magazines or newspapers, which would have the type of stories that we're looking for. Now, to get to the Ebsco website, we want to go to My Neosho, go up here into your quick links and go to Chapman Library. Now, I've skipped the login page because I don't want to put in my username and password, but we can see it's now taking us to Ebsco here. Okay, at this point, we need to try our search strings that we talked about earlier. So if we just search like we do with Google, we would put in something like tornado, hero saves puppy, something like that to try to find articles. Of course, we have nothing here, so we'll just back it off to tornado and hero. We should get some results here. Texas teens escapes RV thanks to hero stepdad. Okay, so we are getting articles already. Some of these articles are going to be appropriate, some are not. So what we're aiming for is we're aiming for about 30 to 40 articles. The reason that we're looking for 30 or 40 when we only really need 3 is we don't want to be stuck with the first 3 that we get. Now, this one looks like a great article. We have a hero stepdad during a tornado. If we click on this one, however, we won't have access to it. Okay, so if we go back, what we want to do is we want to adjust this with full text. Full text is going to only bring up the articles that we have access to. Okay, so we look through these. We now have 16. This is some type of transcript, protest after Porter mistrial. Okay, so this is not really what we're looking for. Heroes welcome from residents in tornado-stricken Alabama. If you are not a fan of President Trump, that might be something that you would dismiss. We look through these and we want to see if we can find the type of stories we're looking for. Now, some of these are transcripts because we can see that they are from programs or newspapers. If we want to change the source type, we can click here. We can see that we only have news stories here. And so when we're going through just 16 of them, sometimes we're not going to find the ones that we're looking for. And we limit ourselves to maybe only 3 possibilities, and then we have to use those 3. So this is why I would suggest finding about 30 to 40. Now, if we remember the lesson on search strings, we know that we need some adjustments here. So I might put in tornado and hero. I want to get tornadoes, so I'm going to put the asterisk there. I want heroes or heroics. I'm going to put an asterisk there. And let's see how many we get just by making these small changes. Again, all I did is I added the truncation and the operators. I haven't done any synonyms yet, but let's see how many we get. So now with full text, you can see we have 911, which is too many to go through. But you can see that just by adding the operator and the truncation, we're getting a much broader spectrum of articles. And that's what we want. We want to expand out and then start to shrink back into exactly what we want. So I could work with some synonyms here. I could put tornado, or let's add another maybe disaster that might produce a hero. So I'm going to put in hurricane and hero. Can we think of any synonyms for hero? None are coming to me right now, so I'm just going to leave it as hero. But now that I've added a synonym, I expect that my results are going to go up. So we test this. And yes, now we have 4,800. And just as we talked about with Google, 4,800 is too many to go through. So now we need to narrow. One way that we can narrow is to add another term to our search string. So I'm going to put in and maybe I'm looking for a specific type of hero. So I'm going to put in teacher. I can think of synonyms for teacher. So I'm going to put teacher and I might want teachers, or let's put in instructor and I want instructors. And so I'm going to add that search term. And by adding a search term, it's saying now I need either tornado or hurricane and hero and either teacher or instructor. So by adding that third term, we should see that limiting aspect of our results. So let's see what we have here. And we can see we're down to 91. Okay, if I'm at 91 and I don't have this full text checked, I'm going to check that. I can look at only peer-reviewed articles, but when we're looking for stories, especially from newspapers, magazines, we're probably not going to get anything that's peer-reviewed. I can look at my source type and say maybe I only want newspapers, magazines, but I'm at 91, which is still quite a few. And so I'm going to try to narrow it a little bit more so that I don't have to go through 91 articles. So I'm going to add another search term, and maybe I'll just put in something like save. And just notice, so at first I put SACE. If I click on that, we're probably going to get 0. And we did, we got 0. So you have to check your spelling if all of a sudden you get 0. So I'm just going to put in save, and I want the asterisk for saves or saved. And let's see if that narrows down to my target range. Now I'm getting 19, and within 19, we can see one's an encyclopedia. One or a couple of these are transcripts from CNN. Okay, so now I've limited too much. So instead of save, if I want to broaden, I can add a synonym or rescue, and I want rescued or rescues. I might want rescuers. Okay, rescuing. If it's rescuing, I will need this end after the U. And let's see if that brings up a few more. Okay, so now we got 25. I would say 25 is decent. I can start looking through these. Now, the very first one is an encyclopedia, and I don't want to use an encyclopedia. That's not going to provide the real world story that I'm looking for.